Hello everyone who likes to test big guns and then even bigger guns. I am BorderWise and welcome back to From the Depths, and we're doing a CRAM guide tutorial thing for the first time in a long time, and it feels really good. Now, this is hopefully going to be a brief video, and cue people saying like, every time you say that, it turns out to not so brief because you keep waffling like I'm doing right now. But I've noticed that when I test CRAM cannons in From the Depths, when I build them and when I see what things they can shoot at successfully and not, there's a series of vehicles I test them on, which are just, I keep doing the same ones over and over again, depending on the size of the CRAM cannon and what I expect it will be shooting at. And yeah, so I just wanted to share with you fine people my stages for testing CRAM cannons, because I think it works pretty well. Because whether you're building CRAMs for playing through the campaign of From the Depths, specifically Neater in this case, or for adventure mode, or whether you're perhaps thinking about doing a tournament, this is less tournament focused, I do have to say, because really, for a tournament, you have to just build to the rule set, whatever that rule set might be. Or if you just want to muck about and test your designs against stuff that's available on the workshop, this is a good start to go around it, I would say. So what we have here is 3 hastily assembled 2D Tetris CRAMs, small, medium, large-ish, and bloody big. That's a damn big CRAM cannon. I actually wasn't being especially scientific with building these. I just wanted examples of CRAMs which can do some things, but not others. So, to start off with, this small-ish CRAM cannon here, which is about 5x5. Not perfectly 5x5 either. It's like I said, this is for demonstration purposes. Do look at my other CRAM tutorials if you want to know how to build, CRAMs properly. Or even other people's tutorials, like Gml's tutorials as well. It's not bad. It's pretty good, in fact. So this is the kind of CRAM, the size of CRAM cannon I would consider to be essentially early game. So this is what you shoot at the Deepwater Guard with, and maybe some early Onyx Watch vehicles. And then beyond that, you wouldn't want to use something like this as a main weapon, because the reason there's a whole series of benchmarks I use to test CRAMs is because CRAMs, much as I love them, have a real problem dealing with anything that has good active defenses, so LAMs, CWIS, even missile interceptors. Mainly the CWIS and LAMs are a problem for CRAM shells. It's a bit of a bummer for them. It goes from being a devastating weapon that, for very little materials can, do tens of thousands of points of damage of various kinds to doing absolutely jack nothing. So, to start off with, we're going to set this one on. By the way, thanks to the patrons, I am trying to remember to name AIs after my lovely patrons who support the channel. So the first vehicle on the list is the Deepwater Guard Kraken. Most Deepwater Guard vehicles don't have especially good active defenses like the Crossbones does, but the Kraken happens to have a nice big flak gun on the top of it, and I had a look at that and actually tried to work out through math the minimum health of shell that you need in order to hit this thing with a CRAM shell, and then my math was wrong, so I gave up and just started to wing it. So it's this thing up here, dedicated CWIS, and it also has flak, or rather anti-munition warheads in pretty much all of its 8 main guns, which means that it can damage your CRAM shell immediately after it's been fired. So it's a pretty good benchmark, I'd say, for a low-level, small to medium-ish CRAM cannon that you're going to be using in the early stages of a campaign. So just check, that's all good. And this gun should be able to tickle the Kraken a little bit. Even if it misses, you can tell if everything's going fine if it manages to overshoot it. So you can see here this absolute river of fire from the Kraken. That is anti-munition, and if it hits this particular gun over here, these aren't on turrets, by the way, they're just fixed. It will damage the shell. So we fire here, and we should be able to hit the Kraken. And we did. We managed to do about, 12k explosive damage there. Clipped the paint, so to speak. Not an especially strong cram. But you know what? It's a start, isn't it? So, with that test, we can safely say, yes, this is kind of the bare minimum you want on a CRAM Cannon, which is could be considered your main armament. Like a secondary cram, by the way, can be... oh, wow, we really set something on fire there. What was there to set on fire? Is there, like, fuel hidden in these? Hang on, I'm curious. What's here? There is fuel hidden in there. How about that? You are burning, sir. So yeah, stage 1 main cram. Secondaries, of course, you can make them whatever size you like because their job is slightly different from a main gun. They can do, like, you know, they can be distracting, especially if they're mortars. But right, moving on to the next one, because, like, you can go with the crossbones here. Like, I don't usually fire at the crossbones, even though it does have pretty decent CWIS. Let's see here. Can this CRAM Cannon get through? Oh, geez, the sound is janky as hell. So, we go here. CRAM Cannon sails away. Let's see if the shell makes it to the target. It does. It, in fact, overshoots it. So, that's why I don't usually shoot at the crossbones when testing my crams. Because its CWIS isn't actually that much stronger than the Kraken's, all things considered, until it's in full broadside. So we skip the crossbones and head to the next one. Are you attacking? Yes, you are. I test against the Alkazar. Because the Alkazar... I made a most wanted on the Alkazar some time ago. Actually for very good reason. Number one, it is an annoyingly tanky design. For its cost, it is kind of difficult to destroy because it's mostly empty space, and it has a fairly strong lambs on it. And also, it is at the sweet spot in terms of cost. It's about just shy of 340,000 materials. The Onyx Watch often likes to spam these. At least they did the last time I played the Nita campaign. Maybe it's different now. Which means that odds are pretty good you are going to run into this, which is another reason why I feel it's a good test dummy for your CRAM cannons. Because you might very well have to shoot at an Alkazar. I ran into these things many, many times when playing through Nita, and I've played through Nita more than once. And right there, you can see that this little mini CRAM cannon is not going to cut it anymore. It's just not big enough. It doesn't have the shell health, or 18,000 health shell, APHE. Not going to do it. So we're going to move on from the Aurora gun to the Tinkerbat gun. And let's see here. What's the stats of this? Is considerably better. 85,500 shell health. Again, APHE gun. Considerably larger. These things are roughly square, by the way. So they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, damn it. It's not exactly square. Dang it. But anyway, this is a much bigger gun. This is edging, like, we're moving away from medium size to, like, kind of large. It varies depending on your build style, what you consider large or small in From the Depths, I do have to say. Let's see if this gun can go and tickle the Alkazar a little bit. Kablooey. You can see the tracer on the shell, much longer, much more strong. Let's see if we can manage it. And it can. Let's see if we can actually draw blood here. Or draw, make block confetti. Sweet, sugary block confetti. She's coming in, she's coming in. Oh, interesting. She actually did manage to shoot that one down. Oh, dear. Was there a timed fuse? Did I stick a timed fuse on this? I hope not. It also depends with the Alkazar, like, how high the shell is coming in. Because if enough lamb's nodes can shoot at it at once, it can actually manage to destroy the shell a bit. There we go. There we go. That's damage. Alright, so this is kind of right on the edge of what, of the kind of cram gun that can, like, actually damage an Alkazar, so that's good. That passes the test. Oh, another volley coming in. Don't mind if I do. What are you gonna do, sir? You are going to blow chunks. This right here, by the way, is why the Alkazar is kind of a pain in the ass to destroy, because most of it is kind of just empty space and beams And it's that particular flavor of Onyx Watch tankiness where it's like, you can't blow up empty air, really, so it takes a long time to destroy them fully, unless you've really gone all out on, like, penetrating deeply and destroying their vital bits. Hopefully that does the trick. What did that do? Yeah, again, nope, nothing but beams. This is going to take too long, so once you can tick off the Alkazar, you can move on to the next thing, and funnily enough, the Onyx Watch is actually a pretty good threshold, so to speak, a good benchmark for CRAM cannons. Not only because they're, well, annoyingly tanky, but also because they've got quite a few vehicles which have pretty decent lambs on them. Once you're past the Deepwater Guard, if you're playing Nita in like the standard order, you're gonna run into, well, the Onyx Watch is the faction that like is going to be your first real encounter with lambs, so yeah, good to be ready for that if you are taking CRAMs along with you. So the next one I like to test is the Eerie, for two reasons. Firstly, the Eerie is annoyingly evasive, so it's where you got to make the call, do you stick a flash suppressor on your gun, it doesn't have to be on the end by the way, or do you have that extra muzzle velocity? So it depends on the testing. For smaller CRAM cannons, medium-sized, the flash suppressor really helps a lot, especially if you're firing multiple CRAM cannons. Can we do it? We cannot. Also bearing in mind that successive firings of a CRAM cannon, they can drain LAM systems depending on how the LAMs is set up. Yeah, like this is just a kind of yeah, nah, this isn't going to manage it. Which is interesting, because it did manage it before. It also, again, depends on where exactly it is, if it's arcing over or under. Let's see, one more shot. If you hit it in the underbelly, is it going to do the trick? Hey, look at that. That did pretty good. I see lots of block confetti. I should also mention as well that the Twin Guard has a lot of things that have like really strong lambs on them. I think actually the Gravitas has pretty strong lambs as well. In fact, I'm going to add on the fly to my list the Gravitas, because I gotta admit I forgot about it while I was making this video. So let's do that. Notes as we go. But for the Eerie, this particular CRAM cannon can damage it. Not reliably, but it can. So that gives you an idea of like how far into a campaign or an adventure you can take your CRAM cannon with you. There we go. How much damage did that do? About 81,000. That's not bad. Alright, so after the Eerie, I like to test against the Stronghold, because the Stronghold, nothing fancy. It's literally just, it is a giant brick that has a giant lambs on it. So if you can get the Stronghold, by the way, I should really pause the game so you can look at the Stronghold. Stronghold is also very good for testing like anti-CRAM munition systems, just because of this really big opening volley. Not the strongest CRAMs in the game, or even in Nita. I forget the name of the thing that has that. I think the Great White is actually a better benchmark for that. But yeah, this is decent. Especially if you're testing direct input fed like diff guns. We'll more on that in another video. I should really get around to that. So yeah, this guy is also really good for testing like missile interceptors, because of these huge missiles right here. But more importantly, testing torpedo defense, because it hasn't launched them, but these huge torpedoes just have silly amounts of health. So if you can blow up a torpedo volley from a Stronghold, you can probably blow up any torpedo volley that has ever existed. So let's see if this one does the trick. Coming in. Nope, that is absolutely not going to do it. I didn't actually have to destroy the Stronghold. So now we can move on to this guy, which is actually like a bit much, really. So the stats on this one, this is around 50,000 materials. This guy is more than almost 6 times as expensive, so I might have skipped a few steps in size here. Whoops. So yeah, so this is a pretty monstrous. This, I think, counts as Doom Cram because shell health is at 409,451. It is a timed frag, as Doom Cram tends to be. So let's see if we can punch the Stronghold in the face with this thing. I was actually tweaking this a fair amount. Let's see here. Caesar, open fire. Quite fitting that it's called Caesar. Like, sounds cool. So, Lambs does absolutely nothing. And exploded slightly too early. No worries. Let's see what happens when it fires again. Like, this is one of the reasons why, like, timed frag on a big scale is so good with CRAM cannons. Because, well, as I'm fond of saying, even when they miss, they don't really. Yeah, look at that. It's almost 200,000 kinetic damage, and it's not even hitting the target directly. Oh, look at that. It's taken out material stores. So I'd say, yep, this is a cram. This is a good big cram. Honestly, at this scale, by the way, when you're making cram cannons this big, you should probably use 3D Tetris to save the materials. I want to see a penetration shot, damn it. Why can you not do that for me? Game, we must show penetration of the Stronghold. The people demand it. Come on now. You know you want to. Damn it. Did I fudge it up? It might be this. It might be this being too silly. There we go. One more time. This is why I'm saying it's good to... There we go. Oh, that was beautiful. That's what we want to see. We want to see multiple percentage points of health taken off all at once. And there we go. Beautiful. So that's a success. It passes the Stronghold test. And spoiler alert, this CRAM Cannon is big enough that it'll probably pass every other benchmark as well. So just going to save this right here. And after the Stronghold, I tend to like to test against the Megalodon. For two reasons. The Megalodon has pretty strong lambs on it. It used to have one of the strongest lambs in the game. I think they toned it down a little bit in successive updates. But it also has a railgun Seawers on the back, and it also is decently fast and quite low in the water once it settles down. So you'll see here, that's not what I wanted to do. Not what I wanted to do at all. Help, where am I? Where did the cram go? Did the cram go? Oh. Man, I missed it. Well, we can already tell this is pretty decent because it managed to... What the hell did that do? Where did it even hit? Where was your damage, sir? Did it hit the superstructure? What? Where did this... I can't even tell where this got hit at all. Did it miss? Alright, so we're confirming that the Megalodon can't shoot down that cram shell. But once it gets into its broadside distance, it's another story we're going to hit as well. It's like... Cram cannons these days, they're not good at anything that is too erratic. Damn it. This is why some people say you shouldn't use inertial fuses on crams, but that probably would have pinged off into space anyway and done literally nothing, so let's see. I have used this very cram cannon to shoot at a Megalodon, and on the second shot it almost killed the AI, so that's pretty good. Can you... You actually need to swivel around a little bit, my friend. Boom. It's looking good, looking good. It's hitting fairly reliably. And it overshot, unfortunately. But still tickled it. So, yeah, that's a test. It'll take a long time. But, like, you know, it can tickle a mech. Now, let's see how it does against Gravitas, which is, which I think is a much harder test because not only with the Gravitas, it's got those really annoying shields, those sub-vehicle shields. It's also got a really strong lambs. I think it has missile interceptors. I don't quite remember, but also it's evasive. So let's see if this CRAM can possibly do it. Let's see... Don't think it'll shoot it down. Wow, it did manage to take some stuff off there. It also depends, like, one of the reasons that, like, Doom CRAM is actually pretty decent against the Gravitas, with the big asterisk next to it, of course, is that it kind of arcs over or under these sub-vehicle shields, which is very helpful. Very helpful indeed. That is managing to tickle it, so problem is out damaging its repairs. Let's see, where's that gonna go? That's actually really good because it's like, where is it? Where did that even hit? Hitting behind it. So yeah, this CRAM Cannon on its own is not managing to out-damage it. You need to manually aim for the main vehicle, which is over there. Oh dear, that pack actually managed to be stupid. Yeah, because it'll aim for this currently. Let's aim for that instead. Let's see what happens there. Can you drop this out of the sky, is the question. This video might just be an excuse to shoot at things with CRAM cannons, and I'm not really sorry about that. Ah, but then you have to shoot past that. Ooh. Oh dear. Can you do it one more time? Hit me, baby, one more time. Who here remembers Britney Spears? I hope you do, because she's still around. Yeah, that's really annoying. Alright, go back to that, see what happens. Yeah, so we can say that this CRAM's not bad. Actually, no. Continue aiming for that. One more shot for Daddy. That particle cannon, I swear, is the absolute worst. Did it manage to AI dead? That it did. Struth. Come on, I really want you to aim just over the shields. I just want the Gravitas to die. Like, you know, can you blame me? There we go. Oh, that rocked it. Hell yeah. Oh, hello. What the hell is happening? Whoa, 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 whoa. We have, yeah, wow, I wasn't expecting that. The Gravitas is funky to fight because, my goodness, weird things happen. Alright, that's enough shoot. I could shoot at the Gravitas all day provided we actually damage it, but there is one test beyond things like that. There is a point in Neater where you, if you want to build CRAM cannons like beyond the abilities of like the Megalodon and the Gravitas and other campaign vehicles to defend against, I'm afraid you're gonna have to go on the workshop. And there is one vehicle that I pretty much always use as like a standard Doom CRAM test against, and that is Gmodism's Giml, simply because the Giml is possibly not the only example, but certainly one of the more readily available examples of a ship that uses diff CWIS. So that is APS with a direct input fed shells, which are just gigantic flak shells that do huge damage to incoming munitions. And the Giml is a very good target dummy for big CRAM shells as a direct result of that. And if your CRAM shell can hit the Giml, like, I consider that, yep, that's about as big as you usually need for a CRAM shell. You can go even further in like testing against the Davidos, but depending on your PC, that might not be feasible. It is a very big girl. And also, you are only ever going to run into ships this big. Seriously, this is like almost 87,000 blocks. You're only going to run into ships like this if you want to. If you, like, go find them. So, for the purposes of the campaign, this is the overkill testing, so to speak. So, I actually spawned that a little bit underwater, which wasn't entirely fair. Let's see, that's probably gonna hit simply because you can see there those massive diff shells. And we actually managed to do some damage immediately. So, right there, you can see this is a good big CRAM shell, or at least the stats of this thing are. So, by the way, there's more to CRAMs than simply saying like, alright, this shell can get through active defenses. This particular one would need further refinement in order to be material efficient, because it's not 3D Tetris, and also redundancy. It's just one firing piece. You can do all kinds of clever things with CRAMs to ensure that the big expensive CRAM shell hits the target and does something. And whoa, see, yeah, the Giml's CRAMs are actually on a similar scale to what we're firing at it with, which is fun. And kablooey, 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 sails through all the active defenses, detonates on the shield, and the fragments still manage to do not a hell of a lot by the looks of it. Looks like it shaved some barrels off. Which barrels, though, is the question. The main barrel! Perfect! Come on. One more. One more. One more. I will be sharing a link to the Giml, by the way, because it's a good test dummy. And that, yep, almost 500,000 kinetic damage in one shot. That's what we like to see. There is more efficient ways of like getting past like diff gun volleys like that, but that is for another video, which I should probably get around to sooner rather than later. So, that's some CRAM testing ideas for you. If you're having trouble with your CRAMs, that's a kind of a list of vehicles to test your CRAMs against, and if your CRAMs can successfully hit them and do decent damage, you're probably doing alright. You're probably doing just fine. And I'm totally not just turning off all this for thumbnail purposes. That would be very silly. Kablooey. Whee! I totally just captured a thumbnail just for giggles right there. Quick, diff Seawiz. Kablooey. Alright, that'll do for this video. I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Support me on Patreon, or YouTube membership if you like. It really helps, and there's fun perks in it for you. Thank you to all my current supporters. Please check out my other channels and my Twitch streams. That was a lot of lag. What happened there? Oh, that's what happened. And I will see you next time in From the Dead, or hopefully we get damage numbers like that again. What the hell happened there? What did you even hit? That serves me right for not watching Deacon's Christmas. What the hell? Looks like you blew up everything. Anyway, farewell.